If you are over 60 and your legs feel weaker than they used to, this video could change the way you move in just 1 week. And no, you do not need a gym, expensive equipment, or long, exhausting workouts. You just need 3 simple exercises that help wake up the exact muscles responsible for standing, walking, climbing stairs, and keeping you stable so you do not feel like your legs are giving up on you. The truth is, weak legs after 60 are not just about aging. In many cases, they come from underused muscles, poor circulation, too much sitting, and the gradual loss of strength that happens when the body is not challenged in the right way. The good news is that your body can respond very quickly when you start using the right movements consistently. In fact, many older adults notice better balance, stronger steps, and less heaviness in their legs in as little as 7 days when they focus on the basics. But here is the important part. Not all exercises are worth your time. Some are too difficult. Some put stress on the knees, and some simply do not train the muscles that matter most for daily life. That is why today we are focusing on 3 safe, effective exercises that target leg strength where you need it most. These movements help activate your thighs, glutes, calves, and the stabilizing muscles that keep you upright and confident. And before we get into them, let me say this clearly. Do not worry if you feel weak right now. Do not worry if your legs shake a little when you stand up, or if stairs have started to feel more intimidating than they used to. That does not mean you are done. It means your body is asking for the right kind of movement. And once you give it that, change can happen surprisingly fast. Exercise number 1 is the sit to stand, and this may be the most important lower body movement for anyone over 60. Why? Because it directly trains one of the most essential actions of everyday life: getting up from a chair safely and smoothly. If standing up has started to feel slower, heavier, or less stable, this exercise targets that problem head-on. To do it, sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. Scoot slightly forward so you are not leaning far back. Keep your chest lifted, and then press through your heels to stand up. Slowly lower yourself back down with control. That is 1 repetition. Needed, you can lightly use your hands at first, but the goal is to use your legs as much as possible. This movement strengthens the front of your thighs, your glutes, and the muscles around your hips, all of which are critical for independence. And here is something many people do not realize. When this movement gets easier, daily life gets easier. 2. Getting off the couch, out of bed, off the toilet, or up from the dinner table all become less tiring and less risky. Start with 8 to 10 repetitions, rest, and repeat for 2 rounds. Go slow. Control matters more than speed. Even if it feels simple, do not underestimate how powerful this exercise is. It teaches your body to produce strength in a way that directly carries over into real life. Exercise number 2 is the supported calf raise, and this one is far more important than most people think. When people talk about stronger legs, they usually focus only on the thighs, but the calves are absolutely essential for walking. Pushing off the ground, keeping your balance, and preventing that slow, shuffling step that makes many older adults feel unsteady. Your calf muscles act like a built-in pump for circulation, helping move blood back upward from the legs, which is one reason people often feel less stiffness and heaviness when these muscles get stronger and more active. To do this exercise, stand behind a sturdy chair or next to a kitchen counter and hold on lightly for support. Place your feet about hip-width apart, stand tall, and slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet as high as you comfortably can. Pause for a moment at the top, then slowly lower your heels back down to the floor. That is 1 repetition. It sounds almost too easy, but when done with control, it is incredibly effective. The goal is not to bounce. The goal is to lift, squeeze, hold, and lower with full awareness. Start with 10 to 15 repetitions and do 2 rounds. If that feels easy after a few days, you can increase the number slowly. What matters most is that you feel the calves working and that you stay steady throughout the movement. This exercise can help improve the power in your steps, reduce feelings of sluggishness in the lower legs, and support better ankle stability, which becomes more and more important with age. Many adults over 60 do not realize that weak ankles and calves are one of the hidden reasons they feel less confident when walking outdoors, especially on uneven ground, curbs, driveways, or stairs. The stronger those lower leg muscles become, the more secure each step can feel. Now, let me mention a common mistake here. Many people rush this exercise and barely move through the full range. They pop up halfway, drop right back down, and call it done. But that does not give the muscles the full signal they need. A better approach is to imagine that you are trying to grow taller for 1 second at the top, then lower down like you are moving through thick air. That controlled lowering phase is where a lot of the strength benefit actually happens. If both feet together feel too challenging, keep going with smaller lifts. If it feels too easy, pause a little longer at the top. Small adjustments make a big difference. Exercise number 3 is the wall sit, or if that feels too intense, a partial wall sit. This exercise is fantastic for building endurance in the thighs and hips, which is exactly the kind of strength many older adults need to walk longer, stand longer, and feel less wiped out from basic daily activity. Stand with your back against a wall and slowly slide down a little, not too low, until your knees are slightly bent in a comfortable position. Then hold that position for 10 to 20 seconds while breathing normally and stand back up. Repeat this 2 to 4 times. You do not need to force a deep bend. In fact, a shallow hold is often better and safer in the beginning. What matters is that the muscles in the front of the thighs switch on and stay engaged. This teaches the legs to tolerate effort instead of giving out so quickly. Over time, that can translate into better stamina during ordinary tasks like standing in the kitchen, shopping, walking through a parking lot, or simply staying on your feet without feeling like you need to sit down right away. One reason this move works so well is because it trains muscular endurance, not just quick strength. And that matters a lot after 60. You do not just need the ability to stand up once. You need the ability to keep moving throughout the day without your legs feeling tired, shaky, or unreliable. The wall sit gently builds that staying power. And here is something encouraging. When older adults begin doing these kinds of focused lower body exercises consistently, they often notice changes before the mirror shows anything. They feel stronger getting out of a chair. They notice stairs do not feel quite as overwhelming. They catch themselves walking with a little more speed, a little more confidence, a little less fear. That is how real progress starts. It begins with function. Begins with those small moments where your body suddenly feels more capable than it did a few days ago. Now, if you want real results in 7 days, the secret is not perfection. It is consistency. Do these 3 exercises once a day, or at least most days of the week, and keep the sessions simple. You do not need to push to exhaustion. You do not need sore muscles to prove that anything is working. In fact, for many older adults, gentle consistency works better than occasional hard effort. The body responds best when it feels safe, supported, and repeatedly stimulated in the right way. Think of these exercises as signals to your muscles. Every repetition tells your body, we still need strength here. We still need stability here. We still need these legs to work. And the body listens. But there is another important piece that many people ignore. If your legs are weak, it is not only about muscles. It is also about your nervous system remembering how to recruit those muscles efficiently. That is why these simple movements can feel shaky at first. It is not always pure weakness. Sometimes it is disconnection. The movement pattern has become rusty. The signal from brain to muscle is slower, less coordinated, less confident. The more often you practice these basic actions, the more that connection improves. And when that happens, your strength starts showing up in a more useful way. You are not just stronger on paper. You are stronger when you stand, stronger when you walk, stronger when you catch yourself, stronger when life asks your body to respond. Also, do not overlook posture while doing these exercises. A lot of people unintentionally round forward, look down, and shift their weight poorly, which makes the exercise less effective and sometimes more uncomfortable. Try to keep your chest gently lifted, your gaze forward, and your breathing calm. That alone can improve how the movement feels. Good position helps the right muscles activate. Poor position causes the stronger areas to compensate, while the weaker areas keep staying weak. Another thing to remember is that improvement is not always dramatic in the beginning. For some people, the first sign of progress is simply that. The exercises feel less awkward on day 4 than they did on day 1. For others, it is that their legs do not feel as heavy in the morning, or they notice they can walk to the mailbox without needing as much effort. These changes may seem small, but they matter. Small improvements in leg strength after 60 can lead to huge improvements in independence over time. Because once the legs get weaker, everything else starts shrinking too. Activity goes down, confidence goes down, balance often gets worse. The body adapts to less movement by becoming even less capable. But the opposite is also true. When leg strength starts improving, movement becomes easier, which encourages more movement, which builds more strength. That positive cycle is one of the most powerful things an older adult can create. And it often starts with movements that seem almost too simple to matter. So if you have ever looked at your legs and thought they are just not what they used to be, or if you have quietly started depending more on your hands, railings, furniture, or momentum just to get through the day, please hear this. You are not powerless here. Your legs can respond. They may need patience, they may need repetition, and they may need the right kind of challenge, but they can absolutely improve. And in just a moment, I want to show you how to structure these 3 exercises over the next 7 days, so you do not just do them randomly, but in a way that helps your body build strength safely and steadily. For the next 7 days, do these 3 exercises in the same order every day if you can. Start with sit-2 stands, then calf raises, then finish with the wall sit. On the first 2 days, keep it easy and controlled. On days 3 and 4, add a few repetitions or a few extra seconds, only if your legs feel okay. By days 5 through 7, focus on staying consistent instead of pushing harder. That is where real progress begins. Many people over 60 think they need intense workouts to see change, but that is not true. What your legs really need is regular practice, safe movement, and enough repetition to remind the muscles they are still needed. That is why these exercises work so well. They target the exact movements your body uses every single day. Standing up from a chair, pushing through your feet when you walk, and keeping your legs active long enough to support you through normal daily tasks. When those things improve, life starts feeling easier very quickly. Now, I want to be clear about something. You should feel effort, but not pain. A little shaking is normal. Muscle fatigue is normal. But sharp pain in the knees, hips, or back is a sign to stop and adjust. Use support whenever needed. Hold on to a chair. Stand near a wall. Take your time. There is nothing weak about modifying an exercise. In fact, that is often the smartest way to build strength safely. And if you have serious joint pain, balance problems, or a recent surgery, check with your doctor before trying a routine like this. Another thing that matters is breathing. A lot of people tense up and hold their breath without realizing it. Try to breathe out as you stand. Breathe steadily during the calf raises, and stay relaxed during the wall sit. Good breathing helps you move with more control and less strain. Also, pay attention to your posture. Keep your chest lifted, your eyes forward, and your movements slow. Better form helps the right muscles do the work. Poor form often shifts the effort into the joints instead of the muscles. And here is the part most people need to hear. Weak legs do not always mean the body is failing. Very often, it simply means those muscles have not been challenged enough lately. The body responds to use. If you start asking your legs to work again, even gently, they can respond much faster than you think. Sometimes the first sign of progress is not bigger muscles. Sometimes it is just feeling more stable when you get up. Sometimes it is walking with less heaviness. Sometimes it is noticing that stairs do not feel quite as intimidating. Those are real wins. Those are signs your body is adapting. So if your legs have been feeling weak, slow, or unreliable, do not ignore it and do not assume it is just age. Start giving your body the right signal. These 3 exercises may look simple, but simple done consistently is powerful. 7 days can be enough to feel the difference, and once you feel that difference, may realize your legs are capable of much more than you thought.